Hello, I'm Victor and this is The Junkyard. You know, I love bad movies. And I don't just love to hate them. I love to see where they succeed. To laugh when they laugh at themselves.
I've seen all the Godzilla movies, as well as all the Hellraiser films, and even the Chucky films. Though I couldn't make it through Seed of Chucky. I didn't think you could tarnish the legacy of Child's Play, but, well...
Anyway, I just want you to know where I'm coming from when I say that I hate Asylum Films. It's not just that they make bad movies, it's that they make lazy movies.
Asylum Films, for those of you unaware, is a film studio and distributor that makes what Wikipedia terms mockbusters. Along with a few other semi-original movies, they put out films with titles like Transmorphers, The Da Vinci Treasure, Alien vs. Hunter, I Am Omega, and others along a similar vein. Their modus operatus is to look for upcoming films, spend an exhaustive 20 seconds researching the plot on IMDb, spending an exhaustive day writing a screenplay based on that, another exhaustive day on filming it, and then an exhaustive lunch break editing and doing effects. Then they get someone to put together a cover that took longer to make than the entire film, make some copies, and ship them to waiting blockbusters nationwide, making their films available to the public within days of their Hollywood counterparts' big screen debut.
Now, in theory, this actually sounds like a lot of fun, right? Movies made to look like the big budget dealies, only done in a fraction of the time, with a fraction of the budget. You know, it would have corny acting, bad effects, and just generally be a lot of MST3K fun. Yeah, not so much.
See, the titles promise this, but the reality is these films just suck. Why? First of all, they're not usually even ripping off the film's plots, just their titles. So it's not a parody, it's just an attempt to fool people into either thinking that theirs is the real film, or that it will be a parody. I'm afraid I fall into that latter category. I don't have a very good sense of pattern recognition, so I actually rented about 4 of these before I learned to check the box for Asylum's label. Remember this image well, viewers. I also rented a couple of them through Netflix because I had no box to check and, well, my pattern recognition problems. Another thing that sucks about these films is the effects. Obviously, on their budget, good effects are out of the question. But honestly, these are pathetic by any standard. Instead of making some cheap but fun effects out of physical materials, they try for CG images, which they insert extremely sparsely throughout the films. Now, CG has brought us this, but with Asylum it brings you this. When watching the film, these things look like animated GIFs, just repeatedly pasted on the screen. And their best effects aren't much better, they still look like something you'd put in a screensaver. Don't use CG unless you're willing to make them look more convincing than cartoons. But honestly, I could forgive their deception and their crappy effects. What really makes these films suck is how boring they are. Because they blew their effects budget on CG so bad it couldn't fool a time traveler from the 16th century, they feel the need to fill these movies with crappy dialogue. They make a feeble attempt at pathos, conflict, occasionally even romance, but it never works. First, these actors would be laughed off the Sci-Fi Channel. They're that bad. Second, it's just so droning. You can set the films to fast forward and never skim past anything resembling a moment of excitement. In fact, I did just that with Monster, their Cloverfield ripoff. Third, these actors aren't having fun. Actors who are having fun making a bad movie can add to it, but they would obviously rather be anywhere else. At least in that respect, you end up empathizing with the characters.
In the end, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. They seem to focus a lot on character interactions, but since they know they can't do that well, they don't seem to try. It could be that the films are just vehicles for the effects, but since they know they can't really pull those off, they don't seem to try. It could just be that they're trying to make parodies, but since they know they're not that clever, they don't seem to try.
Like I said, I like bad movies, but these things are, even by the standards of a man who wrote haikus for all the Godzilla films and then did a video of them, a waste of your time. There are hundreds of thousands of bad films out there that you can watch instead of these, done by people who at least try to entertain their audiences. If you absolutely have to see one of these just to see if I'm telling the truth, do not spend the $5 to rent this crap from Blockbuster. If you have to, use Netflix or watch it online or borrow a copy from an idiot.
So the bottom line, these films suck, but they've given them familiar names, so they've managed to just steal themselves an audience. Don't encourage them. Well, this has been Victor with The Junkyard. Have a good one.